as that 60 stopping distance goes, it's going to come in at 129 feet. So actually, I don't mind the braking feel. Although that number is definitely not the best, I don't mind the braking feel. It kind of leans on the firmer side of things. Although I will say, in terms of that 60 stopping distance number, what you typically want to look for is the lower 120s, if not the 1-teens. So 129 feet is definitely on the higher end of things. But having said that, again, braking feel feels perfectly fine to me. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension. As far as ride quality goes, it's been perfectly fine on my short little test drive here today, so I've actually had no issues there. As far as cabin noise goes, I'm going 54 miles per hour. There is a little bit of road noise. I will say that that's to be expected in compact cars like the Corolla or the Civic or the Elantra. So they basically all sound the same when it comes to cabin noise, in my opinion. You do tend to hear a little bit more of the road, you know, comparing it to bigger sedans and things like that. So I will say that's to be expected. As far as steering feel goes, definitely on the looser side of things. So wouldn't have minded a bit more feedback when it comes to that steering feel. Maybe Toyota, if you're watching this, maybe in the future, I don't know. Then touching on visibility, it's excellent. Definitely one of the better visibilities in its class. Because of its shape, you can see 100% perfectly fine out the back. So visibility is 100% not going to be a problem in the Corolla. It is very, very good. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Toyota Corolla. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2023 Toyota Corolla, finished in classic silver metallic, in case you were curious of our exact exterior color name. But let's go ahead and start off with where this thing is made. The VIN actually begins with the letter J, meaning this one is built and assembled in Japan. So that is pretty cool, and it's as expected for the Corolla. But anyways, let me first touch on some of the changes for the 2023 Corolla, including a revised front fascia for every trim level across the board. All trims also now receive LED daytime running lights. You do also get an updated rear bumper design for the LE trim level at least, and there's going to be some new wheel setups for the SE and XSE trim levels, which you guys are course currently looking at right now. But as always, let's go ahead and start up front on the Corolla here. Front fascia will differ between the LE and the SE trim levels essentially, so a little more aggressive design on our XSE that we have today. It's going to be the same look for the SE trim level. Then you're going to get a little bit different design on that front grille and the front fascia if you were to go with the LE trim level at least. But LED headlights with LED daytime running lights do come standard on all trim levels across the board. Also coming with the automatic feature, meaning when it starts to get dark out at night, those headlights will turn on automatically for you there. Automatic high beams though also coming standard for all trim levels across the board. So essentially when you have your high beams on at night, in the sense of the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams, and when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bounce it back up to high beam. So very nice convenience feature there. You also though get LED accent lighting for the SE and XSE trim levels, and so you guys can see that down below there, and forgive the little blue tape that's still on this one, but that's a pretty cool little accent. I like that. That's not going to be found on the LE. And this specific front bumper kind of has like a front diffuser look going on down here too. I just noticed that. That's pretty cool. So definitely a different look to the SE and XSE trim levels, and we do have some nice black accents up front on the Toyota emblem there as well. So overall, very nice looking front end. I'm digging it. So let me know what you guys think of it in the comments section below. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the side of the Corolla. All right, so but now since we are around to the side of this one, black window surrounds will come standard. Body colored power adjustable side mirrors also coming standard. And then if you wanted heated side mirrors, go with the SE or XSE trim levels. It looks like there's some LED integrated turn signals on them too. That is pretty cool. Body colored door handles do come standard. I always like to mention that because on a less expensive vehicle, sometimes you do get the black ones, like black plastic. So do want to emphasize that. Gray metallic side skirts for the SE and XSE trims. I do like that. You guys can see that down below there. Taking a look then at the wheel configuration, 16-inch steel wheels with covers coming with the LE, and then 18-inch alloy wheels with graphite colored finish. This is a new look, by the way, a new wheel look for the 2023 model year, and that's going to come on the SE and XSE trim levels. So again, good looking wheels. I do like them. So anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of this one, all the way to the top, body colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, you're going to get a body colored rear spoiler for the SE, but then a kind of graphite graphite colored finish to match the wheels and the side skirts, of course, for the XSE trim level. Kind of just looks gloss black to me, but it looks dang good back there, I will say that. Trim level badging can be found back there as well, so if you wander onto a Toyota lot on a Sunday maybe, take a look at the back of the Corolla. It's going to tell you what trim level you were looking at. LED taillights do come standard on the Corolla, gotta love that as well. Revised rear bumper for the LE trim level, at least for 2023. A massive gloss black rear diffuser on our XSE. It's going to be the same look for the SE, by the way, as well. Then making our way all the way to the bottom here, you will find a single exhaust outlet tucked away for the LE trim level, but you will get a single exhaust with dual chrome tips then for the SE and XSE trim levels. So let's go ahead and get out of the rain, and as always, here is that exhaust clip. So, but now since we are around to the back of the Corolla, when it comes to opening that rear trunk, there's a few different ways to go ahead and do that. There is a button on the key fob. There is actually a button on the kind of the floor of the driver's position here as well. And there's a button on the trunk itself if you were to go with the SE or XSE trim levels. Believe it or not, the LE doesn't have that button on the trunk itself. But nonetheless, once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 13.1 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. There is a single cargo light back there. It is a halogen bulb, and then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire, and there's a little bit of storage around that spare tire, so you could probably put a nice scraper back there if you wanted to as well. But then making our way to the rear legroom, that's going to come in at 34.8 inches. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I have back there. There is a rear center armrest with cup holders, which is newly standard for 2023, so big fan of that. I guess because the LE got it last year, but the L did not. Since the L is no longer a trim level for this year, it's obviously newly standard. So yeah, dual rear USB charging ports, also though newly standard for 2023. The LE actually didn't get that last year, but it does for 2023. So if your kids wanted to stay charged up, they can do that on the LE trim level for 2023. There's a little bit of storage back there, no rear ventilation though. But then making our way up to the front seats, manually adjustable cloth seating coming with the LE trim level. You're going to get a sport fabric for the SE, and then a Softex upholstery then for the XSE trim levels. Also heated front seats coming with the XSE trim as well. 8-way power driver's seat then with power lumbar, also coming with the XSE. And I like the little red contrast stitching that we have on our XSE trim level with us here today as well. So overall, actually, I like the side bolsters of the seats. Seats are really darn comfortable, surprisingly, in this Corolla that we have here today. So I don't think I've ever had an issue with seat comfort with the Corolla, so they're definitely pretty nice. But then take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped for the XSE trim level. Otherwise, it's going to be wrapped in urethane, so nothing wrong with the steering wheel there. Then make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. You do have your traditional turnkey start for the LE, but the SE and XSE trims are going to get keyless entry with the push button start. That is optional though on the LE. You can get it there, so you just have to spring out a little more money. But all I am going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just by the driver's right knee there. And so once started up, this is pretty darn cool. Analog gauges are going to come standard on the LE and SE trim levels, but that XSE trim that we have today, that's going to give you a 7-inch full digital gauge cluster. And as I mentioned earlier, when you change the drive modes, it's going to kind of adjust the colors up there. So if you put it in eco, it's going to give you some green hues. If you put it in normal, it's kind of like a bluish violet. And then if you put it in sport, it's going to give you some red hues. So I do like that. That is pretty cool. I love digital gauges. They just look so much better. But also have your outside temperature. There's a digital speedometer within the tachometer. There's how many miles you have left until you hit empty, trip A, trip B, just the normal stuff. And of course, you can adjust everything on that digital speedometer by using the steering wheel mounted controls found on the left side of the steering wheel then as well. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality, starting with the power moonroof that comes standard on the XSE trim levels. It's going to be optional though on the other trims if you wanted it. HomeLink controls with a frameless mirror, that goes for $175. We don't have that option today. Automatic climate control coming standard for all trim levels. There is a wireless phone charger that's optional for the XSE trim. We don't have that. Ambient lighting is also going to be optional on the XSE trim level, another option we don't have. But overall, as far as interior quality goes, I do like the gloss black trim found on kind of these door handles, not the door handles, but kind of this door accenting. And the reason I emphasize that is I don't remember that in the LE trim level from last year. Also, the door handles themselves are now finished in a silver plastic as opposed to the matte black plastic that I remember on the LE, and it's probably still that way, but the LE trim is going to give you the matte black plastic door handles. Just in front of the shifter, you're going to have a little bit of storage there. There's also your heated seat buttons, which I've been using because it's pretty cold out today. Gloss black accents surrounding the shifter. There's a leather shift boot, I like that. Dual cup holders behind the shifter, electromechanical parking brake. Within the center armrest, you actually have a 12-volt power outlet, phone charging port, and just a little bit of storage. Not a whole lot going on there, but did want to also mention, to connect to the infotainment screen for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, there is actually a phone connection port kind of just to the right of the right heated seat button. And that's not your traditional bigger USB charging port. It's like a phone charging port. So that's interesting because they had the USBs last year. But anyways, it kind of leads us into the infotainment screen here. So 8-inch color touchscreen display is going to come standard across the board. Bluetooth and audio streaming, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Again, I told you guys where to plug that in there. You can check out your driving statistics up there if you wanted to. It's your radio information as well. By the way, this is the new system that is being used in the Corolla now as opposed to the different system that was used last year. You can check out your radio information up there. And so when it comes to the sound system, 6 speakers is actually going to come standard on all trim levels across the board, but there is an optional 9-speaker JBL sound system that goes for $675 that gives you an amp and a subwoofer, and a wireless phone charger also comes with that little package as well. So we don't have that. We actually have the 6-speaker sound system with us here today. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Yeah, it sounds like a 6-speaker sound system. Personally, the JBL should crush it in the Corolla, but it sounds exactly like a 6-speaker sound system. It's not the best. Clarity is okay. Bass, meh. So, I don't know. It's 6 speakers. If you heard a 6-speaker sound system, that's what that sounds like. I personally would probably go with the JBL on this one. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the Corolla here in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, letting you know what is behind you, which is always is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest designation given by IIHS. So that pretty much says it all right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard, but the Corolla does a very amazing job with airbags. Driver's knee airbag, rear passenger seat cushion airbag, that's a rare one, and rear seat mounted side impact airbags. It's traditionally like an $800 option with BMW and Mercedes. So the fact that that comes standard, that's really good. It's no wonder it's an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. But anyways, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also here's another new feature for the 2023 Corolla, new Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 system. So that gives you pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, proactive driving assist, lane departure alert with steering assist, road sign assist, and dynamic radar cruise control then as well. I did want to also mention, if you were to go with the XSE trim level, you're going to get a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert. And so when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Corolla, big change is for the LE, really. So the LE gets a lot that it didn't have last year, like the engine. That is the big change. It's 2 seconds quicker to 60, and it's going to get better miles per gallon than the previous LE, and you get rear phone charging ports as well in the new LE, as you didn't get it last year. So did want to mention that. If you like the LE trim level, because it does give you a lot of bang for your buck, there are a lot of nice changes for 2023. Great standard safety as well. You got excellent reliability. For anybody wondering, I'm just going to emphasize this again. This isn't a new engine for Toyota. This has been around for a few years now because it was previously on the SE and XSE trim levels. It's just that now it's also on the LE. So the reliability, it's still there. It's not a new engine. So great fuel economy as well. No rear air vents would be my constructive criticism, and ambient lighting I think would look dang cool in this thing as well. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the new Corolla in the comments section below. And that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel. Before it gets to YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.